During the first few weeks after I left my ex, I kept in close touch with him because not being aware of the no contact rule, I just didn't know any better. I even made it a point to go and visit him sometimes and also made sure he saw our son for a while, despite the fact that he had no car and no driver's license and no way to make it there himself. But he would always say these 3 words that made me feel both guilty and doubtful of my decision to leave, even though I knew for sure it was the right thing to do. What were those words? Well, he'd say, "I miss you." But knowing now what I didn't know then, I understand that he was a toxic narcissist. So that led me to a natural question. Did he really miss me, or was something else going on there? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today at queenbeing.com. I'll fill you in on exactly how narcissists are thinking and what you can expect if you do leave a narcissist or even after the discard. So let's get started. So the question is, does the narcissist think about you after the discard or after you leave them? Short answer, yes, but not for reasons you might expect. So let me explain. For the average toxic narcissist, the discard is going to lead to the sort of out of sight, out of mind phenomenon. They don't see you as a whole person, but rather as an extension of themselves. Their perception of relationships isn't the same as yours or mine because they see previous relationships in a similar way to technology. I've often talked about how narcissists think of love like a cell phone. And what I mean is that their perception of relationships isn't exactly like ours. They kind of see it like a smartphone. So when you first get a smartphone, you think it's awesome because it's new and it's shiny and it has all the good features, stuff you haven't seen before. But eventually it kind of slows down and it becomes obsolete. And then a newer, faster, better model comes out and you quickly upgrade. Maybe you miss a feature or two from the old phone, but you don't really dwell on it because the new phone is so much better. It's exactly how narcissists see relationships. Narcissists have a way of going to revisit their old flames. But you gotta know, it's not about the old flame. Instead, it's about whatever they can get from that person in the form of narcissistic supply. So if that happens to you, don't confuse this with the idea that they miss you or they feel like something is real going on there. Think of it like this. You're craving ice cream and you hear the ding, ding, ding of the ice cream truck coming down the street. What like you think? I was just craving ice cream. So you go outside, you stand there with your money and you're all excited. But then as the ice cream truck approaches, you don't turn away and go back inside if you see a truck that's different than the truck you originally thought you were going to see. Right? You're not thinking of the specific truck at all. You're only thinking of the awesome ice cream that you're about to eat. So it's what the truck can provide you, not the truck itself. You can and you would get your ice cream from any truck. So does that make sense to you? It's kind of how narcissists see relationships. So we're going to dig in and relate this to the narcissists and their psychology. By nature, narcissists are extreme in their affections. They tend to be as shallow as they are unstable. Now, during the love bombing or idealization phase, they're going to find you highly desirable. And since they're in acquisition mode at the beginning of a relationship, they're really on their best behavior. They're trying to get you hooked. They're trying to win you. So they're not going to bother to look for everything wrong with you just yet. They're going to put you up on a pedestal, and they're going to fool both you and themselves in this moment. Now, the truth is that part of the reason we don't notice the red flags during that time is because a lot of the things narcissists are saying, they actually believe at that moment. They really think, at least temporarily, that they have found Mr. or Ms. Perfect. But you have to remember, too, that narcissists lack object constancy. Object constancy is a Freudian concept that essentially means for us that narcissists can't love us and be angry at us in the same moment. So literally, when they feel angry at you, they almost hate you. And that means they can only see you as either nearly perfect or totally and completely worthless. See, there's no in between. They're black and white kind of thinkers. Of course, right about the time they get you fully attached and enmeshed, they're going to start to notice little bitty flaws around you. Nothing big, just enough to help them recognize that, oh my gosh, this is a human and not like a perfect being. Of course, now that they've got you in their clutches, they're going to see you as a sort of object or a trophy, if you will. While this is going to feel super awesome at first, it almost feels too good to be true, you're going to notice pretty quickly that it actually is the idealization or love bombing phase, and it will end painfully and abruptly as the discard phase comes up. This is around the time the narcissist will get bored, and their feelings seem to go kind of from fire to ice. They'll suddenly become the most critical person you've ever met. Now, it might start subtly at first. You'll get a veiled insult or something, and before you know it, you become the target of pretty horrific psychological abuse. Most narcissists don't have really good relationships, and once they have you, they're almost going to feel like they don't want you anymore. But of course, if they lose you, as you know, they go into hoovering mode a lot of the time. Suddenly they're going to need to be with you again. Nothing will stand in their way. The chase resumes, and guess what? They'll pursue you like no other, at least until they have you back, in which case they circle right back around into the devalue of discard phases. Of course, this can feel almost as good as love bombing to you if you are an unsuspecting codependent. But just like always, the other shoe drops, despite how sincerely the narcissist recently professed their love. And no matter how many exciting and detailed future-faking plans they tricked you into believing. As soon as their interest wanes, suddenly they develop a really convenient case of amnesia, and they sort of start backing toward the proverbial exit door, as it were, and right out of the relationship. This is, as you're already aware, I'm sure, a vicious cycle that continues for months, years, or even decades. But where does it leave you? Devastated is an understatement. You won't understand how someone who was just so passionate and hot for you a minute ago is suddenly freezing you out. But how could they be so cold? Look, here's the simple, awful truth. In this moment, they do not care about you. Yeah, they might try to suck you back in at some point, and yes, the cycle will repeat if you allow it. But the truth is that they're not coming for you. It's the narcissistic supply that you give them. It's not who you are, it's what you can do for them. So is all this your fault? Did you do something wrong here? No. The fact is that you couldn't have done anything to change the situation. Narcissists repeat this cycle in every single one of their relationships in varying iterations. No matter who you are, and you could be and might be the most amazing person on the planet, it doesn't matter. The narcissist does not succeed in relationships, at least not long-term healthy ones. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of times they're going to sit around and suck up your narcissistic supply for years if you let them. I know of decades-long relationships like this. But the thing is, they're incapable of keeping up that healthy facade for a long time. And this will lead healthier people, or people who haven't had their self-esteem destroyed by parents or another toxic relationship in their lives, to walk away from the narcissist, which leads the narcissist back to what? A more reliable form of supply. Maybe that's you. The bottom line is that narcissists seem to stop thinking about you when they no longer want you. But most narcissists will repeat this cycle over and over again with you, and like I said, everyone else they're involved with in various capacities and various iterations. It's not just you. It is them. In fact, it's not you at all. The only responsibility you have is that you continue to allow it to happen. So let's just review here. Is the narcissist going to come back? Most likely if you let them. Do they miss you when you're gone? Sort of. They miss your supply. They miss what you do for them more than they miss you personally. Should you allow a narcissist to come back into your life? Personally, I say no. I think it's a bad idea. I think the only way to really truly heal and move forward in a healthier way is to go no contact with the narcissist. However, there are certain situations in which you can't go no contact with the narcissist. And in that case, there are things that you can do to make them be nicer to you. But in my opinion, these things are short-term solutions, not long-term ones. For example, if you never say anything negative to the narcissist ever about them, or you never criticize them, you never do anything to cut down their self-esteem, that can help. If you agree with everything they say, that can help. If you serve them and do everything they need you to do, and you're a really, really good little source of a narcissistic supply, that can help. The truth is, though, that no one wants to live in a situation like that, at least not for long. Now, sometimes we think, oh, at least it's the wolf I know and not the wolf I don't know. Or sometimes we think, I can't afford to leave. I have too much going on. Or we have kids or whatever. And look, I get it. Not everyone can leave. And I'm certainly not implying that you must get up and leave right this minute. But at the same time, I hope that if you're not actively planning to leave, you're at least thinking about ways that you can get yourself safe emotionally. There are some things you can do if you want to leave the narcissist but haven't done it yet, and maybe you need to plan ahead. So if you do wish that you could leave the narcissist but you're not sure how you're going to do it yet, check out queenbeing.com/plan, P-L-A-N, and I'm going to leave you a playlist right here on how exactly you can leave the narcissist. If you have already left and you are looking for ways to really get your healing moving in the right direction, then check out this playlist right here. That's really going to help you out. All right, now this brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you gone no contact with a narcissist, and do you believe that they missed you or that they wanted you back? Or do you think that it was just that they missed what you could do for them or your narcissistic supply? And what kinds of antics did you deal with when they did try to come back? Or were you completely ghosted? Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your experiences in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life, and hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, before I go, make sure you take a look at the videos I'm going to leave for you right here and right there. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button so we can stay connected and continue on this healing journey together. I'll see you soon.